Hello, sports fan. This is Stephen here with Sports Choice Plus. I'm bringing you a very special breakdown. I'm going to be covering, is Steve Kerr really the issue? Before I get right into that, I want to make sure that you're locked into the YouTube channel so you can get all the updates and all the breakdowns. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Looking into Steve Kerr's blunder of he not playing Jason Tatum in the Olympic Games, you got to think, from the standpoint, having all the firepower Team USA has and not letting Jason Tatum play is unacceptable. I know it was against Serbia. I know a lot of times your matchup or your number may not be called or something like that, but he talked about being embarrassed about forgetting to play him, not really giving him playing time. So we're diving down a rabbit hole at this point, because a lot of times when Steve Kerr makes mistakes, he makes humongous mistakes. Having essentially James Wiseman. Looking at when they drafted James Wiseman early in the draft, you got to think, out of the University of Memphis, and he was essentially drafted with a top 5 pick. The Golden State Warriors took a chance on a center that was supposed to be a guy that can help Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and also Draymond Green stay together and develop and be that guy that helps extend the dynasty a little bit. Essentially, they wasted James Wiseman. When you think about him, he didn't really get a lot of play. And a lot of it was his development. From the standpoint of being a center, being 6'11", 7 foot, it should have been an easy fix because Klay plays his position, Steph plays his position, Draymond does his thing, and the plug and play was going to be Wiseman. From the standpoint of Steve Kerr, the offense was never built to give him a chance to use his talents. The offense was never built for him to have the ability to step up and grow. And you got to think, he spent most of his time on the bench in Golden State, whether it be for injuries or other reasons. I mean, you can raise the question, but Steve Kerr essentially had Kevin Durant and didn't use Kevin Durant right. Now, mind you, Kevin Durant still was able to help them win championships. He was still able to do his thing. But from the standpoint, he didn't get the best out of Kevin Durant. His ability to just roll a ball out there and run the same plays that they were running years after years was the same thing that they did. That's one of the things that Kevin Durant complained about, not being challenged, not being able to be a better basketball player. And you got to think, as good as Kevin Durant was, you don't really need a lot of set plays for him. You don't need a lot of, because the guy is clearly a monster. Steph Curry is clearly a monster. But I think that what you're going to see, Klay Thompson is essentially going to go to Dallas and probably have a resurgence that we've never seen from a shooter like that. Because I feel like Steve Kerr never changed the playbook. He never gave the refresher to where the Golden State playbook is now different, it's bigger and better. You're seeing the same stale offense that it's Steph Curry or bust. It's Steph Curry dribble for 20 seconds and then toss the ball to somebody for the last 3, and they heave a shot at the basket. There's no development as far as the backdoor cuts. There's no development as far as anything different. And you can tell by when Kuminga spoke about it publicly. Kuminga spoke about it like, hey, I don't know what this guy's doing. It's not really fitting with me. And then until Kuminga had to go public, that's when he started getting playing time. That's when his bell started getting called a little bit and him getting more playing time. So you got to think, it's a consistent thing. If you look at what Steve Kerr has been able to do versus where they are now. If you look at last year with them having Chris Paul and them having Steph Curry, that should have been an advantage for them, but it became a disadvantage because the offense was never changed to help Chris Paul become a part of the bigger process. You know, essentially you could have had Chris Paul and Steph Curry on the floor at the same time with a 1-2 punch, with Klay Thompson being the third. There was times when you could have done small ball. Yes, you would give up a little bit on the defensive side for the offense, but essentially if you got some of the best shooters in the world, defenses, you're going to make it a track meet. You're going to make them have to keep up with you. So from the standpoint, you wasted a lot of talent, you wasted a lot of things, and Steph Curry's not getting any older. I believe Klay Thompson will go to Dallas and will have a resurgence because the offense is going to be fresher. It's going to be Klay getting an opportunity to use his attributes and really be used in different ways. So with that being said, the blunder at Team USA not playing Jason Tatum is just a number of things that we've been watching. It just may not have been brought to our attention in that way. So when Kuminga complained, he was very honest. This guy doesn't know what he's doing. He just has talented players around him. So it's just one of those things. But I think that overall, Steve Kerr has benefited from having great players around him. I don't think it's essentially his offense that's dynamic or unique. I think that, having players like Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Andre Iguodala, you're bound to win something. So, with that being said, is Steve Kerr the problem? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Definitely check out Sports Choice Plus, and we'll see you on the very next episode.